All right, guys, here we go. We're looking at section 4 or 5 today. Slope-intercept form. We're going to graph some lines from slope-intercept form today, so it should be really easy work today. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. Always in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, get y by itself. That's what we want to do for sure when we get some equations that don't have it already in that form. Get y by itself, and then it makes it very easy to graph. Okay, so when we go to graph an equation that's in slope-intercept form, the very first point we should plot is going to be our y-intercept. So whatever number is out here, that's where we're going to go first on the y-axis. Okay, and we're going to plot a point there, and then we're going to count our slope, rise over run. So up and then over. That's how we're going to do that. So let's look at some examples of that. Y equals 2x plus 5. Okay, so that's in slope-intercept form. What part is the y-intercept? The 5. Okay, so that means when I go to graph this on a coordinate plane, the first dot that I should place would be on the y-axis at what number? 5. The y-intercept. So I go up to 5 and put my first dot. Then my slope is 2. Anytime you got slope there, you want to think about slope as a fraction. How do I write 2 as a fraction? Over 1. Okay, so and slope, remember, is rise over run. So we're going to start at this first dot, and we're going to count up to right 1. And that's where our next dot would be. We could do that again if we wanted to, up 2 over 1. Why is it the same line if I go down to left 1? That's the same, it gets it in the same line. That would be a negative 2 over left would be negative 1, right? Negative 2 divided by negative 1 is also positive 2, right? So that's why you can go that other direction there. And you get that line on there, right? Negative y equals negative 4x plus 3. Is that in slope-intercept form? Yes. What's the y-intercept? 3. What's the slope? Negative 4. Okay, so that's coming straight from that problem. So I'm going to put my y-intercept at 3. That's the first dot I'm going to place. How do I count my slope? A negative 4. So which direction do I go? Down 4. And then right 1. Down 4 over 1. I could go down 4 over 1 again if I wanted to. All right, somebody said, wait, what do you mean? What do you need? Okay, so we're plotting our point at 3. We're going down 4 over 1 because we're thinking about that slope as a fraction. If it's not written as a fraction, you want to think about it as a fraction. Usually that just means put it over 1. And then think. Positive, I'm going to go up and to the right. Negative, I'm going to go down and to the right. Okay. Yeah, this number out here is going to be where you're going to start on the y-axis. So if it's a 3, positive 3, we go to positive 3, and then you count your slope from that spot. Okay, always going to start at the y-intercept. Okay. Any other questions about these two? All right. Let's go to the next example C. Let's do y equals 2/3 x minus 4. Is that in slope-intercept form? Yes. What's the y-intercept? Negative 4. So that means we're going to put a dot where? negative 4 on the y-axis. So that's our first point. Right there, negative 4 on the y-axis. And then when we count our slope, what's our slope? Up 2 over 3. Up 2, right 3. We would put a dot right there. I could go up 2 over 3 again if I wanted to. Once is enough, but you know, the more dots you put on there, maybe the more precise your graph is going to look. Get that line. Is that consistent with a positive slope? Positive slopes do what? Up and to the right, right? So kind of check that as you're going. If you got a positive slope, your line should be going up and to the right. If you got a negative slope, it should be going down and to the right. Okay. Y equals negative 5/4 x plus 1. And that negative, your book is going to put it just kind of out in front of the fraction. Okay. Not on the 5 or on the 4, but out in the front and saying it's a negative fraction. What I want you to do when you think about graphing that is put that negative with the numerator. Say that's negative 5 over 4. That makes it easier, I think. Think about that. So what's our y-intercept for D? Positive 1 or negative 1? Positive 1. So I'm going where? Up 1 on the y-axis. Change colors. Okay, so there's my y-intercept here, positive 1 on the y-axis. Then what direction do I go? Down 5 over 4 to the right. Okay, the negative on the top tells us to go down 5 and then over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do that again if I wanted to. Down 5 over 4. End up with a line going through those dots there. Again, once is enough, but I like to do an extra one just to make my line a little bit more precise. That'll be handy when we get to chapter 7, next 9 weeks. Okay. All right, so far, every one of them's been in slope-intercept form. Makes it pretty easy to do. All right, it's already got y by itself. What if it doesn't have y by itself? What do we need to do? Get y by itself. So let's look at example E. Let's say we had y minus 6x equals 0. How do I get y by itself for this?
Add 6x.
Add 6x. Down, is that what you're going to say? Add 6x to 0. All right, so I'm going to get y equals not just 6, but 6x. Technically plus 0 out there. We usually don't write that, but maybe it's helpful when we're trying to graph that we do write it. Because what's that make 0 for this? The y-intercept, right? So having that plus 0 out there maybe is helpful for this particular lesson. So we now have it in slope-intercept form. And we want to where'd y'all say put the first dot? At the origin, 0, 0. That's the y-intercept. Then how do we count our slope? Up 6, right 1. Because it's positive, it's a positive 6, and you're going to go, the up is positive, and then right 1 would be positive. Because if you write it as a fraction, 6 over 1. Remember, we want to think about that as a fraction every time anyway. Okay, and then we've got our line drawn there. y equals, or y plus 1/5 x is equal to -2. Excuse me. Thank you. All right. So what do we do first? Talon? Good, good. Yeah, absolutely. Get the y by itself by subtracting 1/5 x. And there's y by itself. And then what? How do we write the other side? -2. Good job. What part of that is the y-intercept? The -2, and the slope is -1/5. Okay. So when I go to graph that, where's my first dot? At -2. Then what direction do I go? Down 1, right 5. I could do that again if I wanted to. And get a nice line that's falling toward the right, down and to the right. It's a negative slope. Not too bad. Pretty easy, right? Let's do one more. 5x minus 2y equals 8. 5x minus 2y is equal to 8. Okay, going to subtract the 5x to get the y part by itself. That's good. That's going to give us -2y equal to -5x plus 8. Divide by -2. Good. Everybody gets divided by -2. So there's y by itself. Now, what's our slope? -5 over -2. +5 over 2. Good job. And then +8 divided by -2 is -4. So go ahead and just reduce that fraction there. Makes it easier. Makes it a nice number for that one. Just wait till we're done. Okay. Now let's graph that. I'm just gonna go right there beside it and graph it. Where's our first dot? -4 on the y-axis. So we go down to -4. Put a dot. Now what? Up 5, right 2. 3, 4, 5 over 2. Could do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. We get a nice line out of that. Not too difficult, right? I've done this before. Y'all did slope intercept form in 8th grade. I know it's a lot of review here the first 9 weeks of Algebra 1. Not going to be a whole lot of new stuff until after Christmas, but we'll get some new stuff. All right, so this is what I want you to do today. Your assignment for today. We got about 10 minutes before lunch, so you're going to get a head start on it here. I know I've got some folks that need to make up quizzes and tests and things today as well. So this will let you go ahead and get started with this, get a few problems under your belt before you've got to do that. Page 247. Let's do 3 through 16. I'll make sure. Just follow the instructions there on 3 through 16. And then on 21 through 29, you're graphing those, okay? So You're only graphing 21 through 29. On 3 through 16, the instructions are asking you to state the slope and the y-intercept. If you'll just do like m equals and b equals, that's fine with me. M being the slope, b is your y-intercept. Okay, so on 3 through 16, you're not graphing. You're telling me what's the slope, what's the y-intercept on those. That's what it's asking you to do. Yeah, I would use regular notebook paper on that part, and then maybe even when you get to 21 through 29, some of those are not in slope intercept form, so if you got to work it out, maybe do that on regular paper and just draw your graphs on the graph paper. So there's 9 graphs that you'll be drawing today. All right. The homework, I want you to lay it up on the podium here as you're leaving for lunch, or you can do it now. If you need to staple it, the stapler is right there. Say that again. Only graphing 21 through 29. Only graphing 21 through 29.
Stop. Put that over.
Oh, wait, good. Oh,
Hey, go. I'll get that.
I have a question. On STI, those fractionals, I turn them in and there's a zero.
A 0 or just a blank? It should be a 10 out of 10. I may have just mistyped 1. I'll fix it. Okay, I know you did it. All right. Thank you for bringing that to my attention because I hate for that to happen. Yeah. All right. Where are we at? Yes, we did. Yes. Thank you. Okay, then. Yeah, there you go. Sure. There we go.